Well, welcome into the My Dogs Are Barking podcast on MPW Digital. Thank you guys so much for joining us for week number 6 of our matchups and picks. We're going to look at the week 6 matchups this week. We will also be looking at some Mississippi State recruiting news and introducing a new segment called Against the Odds, where each of us will be making a pick of an underdog this week. But before we get to that, Austin, man, how's it going, dude? How are you doing going into week number 6?
Man, it was good. Last Saturday was a great week of football, and this Saturday I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of refreshing when it's not as good of a Saturday when Mississippi State's not playing, but it's going to be a refreshing Saturday for sure that I don't have to worry about the Bulldogs. So I'm looking forward to that.
You get into all these bye games is always kind of a bummer because it's like if you have a team you primarily watch and every other SEC team is playing, it's just kind of a bummer whenever not everybody is going at the same time. So it's kind of odd. But man, what a great finish to week number 5 with Alabama and Georgia. That was an insane game. And now we go into week number 6, and we're going to start off with a little bit of recruiting news. Over the past couple of days, October 1st, Mississippi State picked up a huge commitment, both figuratively speaking and literally. Xavion Hardy, the number 2 overall player in the nation in JUCO, committed to Mississippi State, and Mississippi State needs a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball, and it appears that the help is coming. Mississippi State has now gathered Xavion Hardy, who's a former 5-star, but 4-star safety, Tony Mitchell, the former Alabama Alabama player, and also Tyler Woodard. Awesome. What did you make of the pickups?
Honestly, I think this is a must. All these guys were must-haves. We had to have them. And if Coleman Hutzler wants to have a chance at coming back next year, he has to do a good job recruiting. The talent is not there. The talent's not close to being there right now. We gotta pick up a lot of guys from the transfer portal, a lot of guys from recruiting. But this is David Turner, this is Coleman Hutzler recruiting for their jobs. At the end of the day, if we have a bad recruiting class this year, Coleman Hutzler's not coming back. David Turner shouldn't be coming back. These are guys that we have to have. And these are guys that could be starting for us right now, but are going to be starting for us whoever we play week 1. Tony Mitchell's going to be starting week 1 for sure. And then Xavion Hardy, I've seen a lot of his highlights at EMCC. This guy's, he's a baller. He had offers from Alabama. Everybody was looking at him. So many SEC offers. This is a great pickup. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, these are guys that we just have to have. Tyler Woodard, another guy. He could start next season.
I think all these guys could start today, right? Like on this
100%.
very team right now.
1,000,000%. EMCC, is not. That's a premier college, community college to play football, and so I'm really excited to see all these guys. But we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going, and but yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys ball out for sure.
Yeah, well, I know that's obviously the hope. You never know what they're going to be like once they get here, but for now, Mississippi State, you had to wonder what their main pitch is because the defense, there's not a great proof of concept right now for the recruits to see. So NIL's got to be a big part of that. But also, playing time has to be important. Especially in this time of the portal and people going all over the place. If you can know you're about to come into an SEC school and more than likely get the starting role, again, you never know how guys are going to respond, but Mississippi State needs some help in the secondary. And Tony Mitchell can play multiple positions back there. Xavion Hardy is going to have an ability, really to play significant snaps and be a part of that front seven. And the same thing with Tyler Woodard. And so, huge pickups for Mississippi State. And honestly, you think about this real quick. If you were a Mississippi State fan, and if you just watch Mississippi State, these 3 guys are not watching how the defense is played. You would not guess that they would be able to land some of these guys that are as talented as these guys are, because of the fact of the proof of concept just does not look like it's working, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's really not much to sell. I think that film. Getting these guys are going to have a lot of film on them because they're going to play week 1. As long as Tony Mitchell stays healthy, he's playing week 1. Xavion Hardy, same thing. As long as he's staying healthy, and it really helps create depth. I mean, we have guys playing every Saturday that have no business on the field, right? I mean, no business to be on the field, and they need time to develop. I mean, Joe Head, redshirt freshman, I think he has a great upside, but he doesn't need to be on the field right now. I mean, we have a lot of guys that just are on the field just because we have no depth. And a lot of
McClendon
these
is
guys
another
have
one.
a lot of these guys have bright futures, but I mean, the more guys we get in the portal and on recruiting, the better the depth we have defensively, and that's been a very big struggle this season.
Yeah, and we're not just hating on the defense and letting that be the end of it. If you have not gotten a chance, go check out on MPW Digital our post game reaction to Texas and Mississippi State. Texas played a lot better than we thought they would, or anybody else for that matter. Did not think they'd be able to play as well as they ended up playing. So um, we're not completely hating on, but make sure you go check that out. Austin, moving on from the Bulldog news, and keep a close eye on recruiting. Remember, National Signing Day is what, 2 months away, a little less than 2 months away. I think it's a little more than 2 months away.
Yeah, about 2.5 months.
Okay. So this is a very crucial time. You're getting down to these last, big visits, and the Bulldogs are going all in on trying to get some of these guys to help the defense because they indeed do need some help. Move over to week 6 matchups, Austin, and the game of the week. I don't even think you and I are going to be covering, but our game of the week, College Game Day, is covering Miami and Cal. For College Game Day, and I guess why not? I mean, you get to Cal beat an SEC team. Cal beat Cal lost to Florida State, didn't they? Didn't Cal lose 14-9, or did Cal beat them 14-9?
I think Cal beat them. I'm pretty sure.
So Cal got that win. But if you have an opportunity for Miami to, I guess, be hosting College Game Day, might as well, because it's been a little bit since we've seen them there. But so we're not even planning on covering that game, but we do have a couple of interesting games in the SEC. Let's start here, Austin. Let's start with Ole Miss and South Carolina. Ole Miss coming off of a loss versus Kentucky that I would say no one saw coming outside of Matt Jones from Kentucky Sports Radio, I guess. But no one saw coming. I think the line was 17 points at one point. I think when you and I picked this game last week, I think we both said over 17 points. I mean, Kentucky's defense is good, but now Ole Miss, there's so much talk in media on the outside noise. I would imagine Lane Kiffin. I mean, Lane Kiffin seems like a player's coach, that he's doing a pretty good job of keeping everything inside, kind of buttoned up. But now Ole Miss is playing South Carolina, a team that beat Kentucky by. I mean, and I know that it doesn't mean just because South Carolina beat Kentucky, they're going to end up beating Ole Miss. But South Carolina, especially on the defensive line, is really good. And Kentucky on the defensive line was really good in this matchup.
Yeah, I think, I mean, South Carolina has a 5-star. I mean, he's looking like one of the best freshmen in the country right now. On the
Dylan Stewart.
Yeah. He's one of the best freshmen in the country, and he's probably going to be a big problem for them. I mean, looking back, I mean, if we would have predicted this game last week, I mean, I don't know what we would have said, but I think Lenore Sellers is coming back, so that's a big plus for South Carolina because Ole Miss got to stop a running quarterback. Brock Vandergrift played out of his mind against Ole Miss, and nobody saw that coming. And Ole Miss, I think that they just needed a reality check. I mean, they played, nobody. The first 4 weeks of the season, they played a half decent team and got rocked. But I think that this was a good wake up call for Lane Kiffin and Jackson Dart, just the whole team. Honestly, I think that they will beat South Carolina, but it's in Columbia. Anything could happen. But I do think Ole Miss is going to bounce back and get the win.
Yeah, and Ole Miss is favored by 9 points. I just have a feeling Ole Miss is going to come out in this game and roll. I feel like the offense is going to be rolling, because when you get embarrassed like that on your home field, and it's, again, especially with the media and everything talking, the players are going to be motivated to get some stuff done. And South Carolina, I think we see some promise in Lenore Sellers and obviously Dylan Stewart, that they're young players. But you got to remember, Sellers has been banged up. Rocket Sanders, the running back, has been banged up as well. So this is not like it's a fully healthy, ready to go South Carolina, a lot of momentum. So I'm not buying the whole South Carolina pulls off a win and Ole Miss's season is over. I get the reality of it. Like if Ole Miss were to lose this game, barring them beating Georgia, I think their season is done when it comes to the playoff. But I don't see that happening here. I think so. Are you saying you think this game same thing? You think it's going to be over 9? Like you think Ole Miss is gonna win by double digits, or you think it's going to be close?
I think it could go either way, but yeah, I would take the over on 9 points. I think for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Ole Miss and South Carolina, but definitely a game that you're going to want to tune into. Oh man, Auburn and Georgia. This game last season was unbelievably close, and nobody thought it was going to be. It was played in Auburn, and it was a fourth quarter game. I believe Georgia was just Peyton Thorne did not turn the ball over. Georgia just kind of looked bored, almost like you know what it was? It was almost like how they were bored against Kentucky. You know, remember Georgia just barely wins that game. It's kind of like they're like, that was similar to last year. This year, this game's in Georgia, and Georgia is coming off a loss. And you know what? I mean, I understand the first quarter was really bad, but Georgia looked really good, really, really good in the second half. Georgia's favored in this game by 24. What do you make of the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you really look at the first half of the Bama Georgia game and look at Georgia. I mean, Georgia coming into the season were my national champs. I think they win this game with no problem. I mean, Hugh Freeze and Auburn, I mean, they're really struggling right now. And yeah, I think Georgia wins with no problem. But I mean, Carson Beck played unbelievable until that last interception in the fourth quarter. That third and fourth quarter, he played, I mean, some of the best football the best football he's ever played. I mean, he played out of his mind. And so, yeah, give me Georgia. I mean, it's in Athens. I mean, I got Georgia all day.
Yeah, Georgia's going to come out and just be on fire in this game. And it was interesting, you know, Georgia they're coming up against this Alabama game last week, and Georgia's favored to win the game. I mean, barely, but still, it was. I think, yeah, towards coming into Saturday, Georgia started being favored. I think about 2.5, and it was such an incredible thing because Georgia absolutely just got punched in the face like as soon as they came out. And you know, there's that Mike Tyson quote: "Everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face." We used to say that when I was in ministry, like, man, we're going to do this, and then we'll do this. And then you get hit in the face and something unexpected happens, and you go, okay, well, now what am I going to do? The plan's, out the window. And Georgia seemed like the same way. They got, I mean, popped. No one saw 28-0 coming. Jalen Milroe played unbelievable. But here's the thing. They fought back and fired back and looked like a really, really good team in the second half. I'd wager to bet that first half will not happen to Georgia. Definitely not this season. That Kirby's not going to allow that to happen. Yeah, Georgia's going to end up winning this game. I would not be shocked if it's by 30. They're going to roll Auburn. Auburn just doesn't have a lot of momentum. And if this game was in Auburn, maybe it's kind of like last year where it's close, maybe a little, but I don't foresee it going that way at all. Missouri and Texas A&M. Shout out to my dog shaking. A&M is an interesting team. Missouri is an interesting team because the last time we saw them, they were going, at least the last time, maybe I'm skipping a game, but weren't they going toe to toe like with Vanderbilt in overtime? Was that their last game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they had a bye week last week.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and then all of a sudden they come into this game versus A&M. Remember, Missouri is still undefeated. What do we make of this matchup?
Yeah, I'm taking Missouri. A&M hasn't played really anybody. I mean, they kept it semi close with Florida. Florida's not good. And so yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, Vandy was at home too, like in Missouri. I don't really know what to make of Missouri right now, but I think that they're going to beat A&M. I don't think A&M's that good and good enough to beat Missouri. I think they'll bounce back from 2 weeks ago. I mean, they've had a whole bye week. So give me Missouri, but I mean, this is another game I think could go either way. But I mean, if I were to pick, give me Missouri.
And Missouri is actually the underdog in this game, but that is not Austin's official pick for against the odds. That'll be revealed a little bit later on the show. But you're right. Yeah, Missouri's on the road. This game's at 11 a.m. at Kyle Field. I don't know. If this game's at night, maybe it's something different. I don't know. A&M they're fine. They're not a bad team. They're not a team that's horrible. They're not, world beaters. They're not great. They're just kind of fine. Like I guess it's just because the quarterback position is it's just not a home run at the moment. Marcel Reed is dynamic, but like I don't know how often he's going to beat you throwing the ball, and until he proves it. Connor Wegman is, seems to be fairly injury prone despite how much potential he has. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't really know why A&M is favored in this game. I guess it's just because there's the home field advantage, but it's an 11 a.m. kickoff, and I don't know. Home field advantage is one thing, but when it's like a morning 11 a.m. kickoff game, to me, it's just not that big of a deal. 2:30 on your home field, that's something. And obviously, a night game is another thing. But yeah, in this one, I'm rolling with A&M. I did want to ask Austin, who is your Heisman front runner at the moment?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll tell you mine right now, but ask me in 3 weeks and it's going to be a different answer. My 1 and 2 right now, Travis Hunter number 1, Jalen Milroe number 2. I think in 3 weeks, Jalen Milroe is going to win. You can't, at the end of the season, I think it will go to Milroe. Travis, you can't be 8-4 team and win the Heisman. It doesn't happen, and it won't happen.
They're only 4-1 right now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I love Deion Sanders. I love Colorado. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love watching Colorado. They're literally my second favorite team. But I don't think there's any hope for him to win the Heisman Trophy, but I do think he is the best player in America. If he's not number 1, I think you're crazy if you don't take him number 1 in the draft. But so he's number 1, and then Jalen Milroe's been playing out of his mind. Give me Jalen Milroe, but I think in November, I think it's December. In New York, I think Jalen Milroe will pick up that Heisman Trophy.
I think so too. He is so special and dynamic, and like he had that huge game that the pitch and catch to Ryan Williams would end up winning the game. If you think about what's a Heisman moment look like, that's it. That's one of those you see, when they do the intro at the Heisman ceremony. Yeah, I think Milroe is the guy right now until, I'm proven otherwise. But there's nobody. Ewers has been hurt. Like Texas is undefeated, but Ewers has been hurt. So maybe he fires back. I think, as you mentioned, Colorado's going to lose multiple more games. Jalen Milroe, man, would you have been saying that 2 years ago? It's crazy to think about his development.
No.
We transition out of our week 6 matchups and picks to our final segment, Against the Odds, where we are going to be picking a underdog, a team that's an underdog this week. There's a couple of interesting matchups. Austin, who are you going with?
So yeah, it took me a second just because I don't know, like the NCAA just like cooked up something special for next week, and then the week before, the 12th and the 19th, they were absolutely cooking when they cooked that up. But they just gave us not too good of a week of football, but we'll see how the games go. Just going into it, they don't look that good. My game of the week is SMU at Louisville. Louisville is favored to win the game, but give me SMU. A lot of Mississippi State fans know the name Rhett Lashley, and for obvious reasons. And you said it yourself. I think we both think SMU's on a very upward spiral, and that goes all hand in hand with Rhett Lashley and Kevin Jennings, absolute baller. Their starting quarterback. He's been playing out of his mind. And I think that they take on Louisville's they're really good this year. They have a really good quarterback, the transfer from Texas Tech, and they've been looking really good. But give me SMU to pull off the upset.
That's interesting, man. Louisville is favored in this game by 7, so they're fairly decent sized underdogs in this week. But yeah, it's only a matter of time. But I think before SMU starts rolling, and not this season, but like the future with their NIL potential. I think Rhett Lashley is a good coach. We'll see about grade, but it seems as if they're going to get rolling at some point. But man, 7 points as an underdog with the outright win would be very impressive. Louisville just looks. I just couldn't get over the hump versus Notre Dame last week. I think they ended up losing that game 31-24 in a. Yeah, I don't know. They're just disappointing from what I think they could be. I'm going with Michigan at Washington. Washington is a 3-point favorite in this game. And man, I I just don't. I don't know. I don't really get it. I don't think Washington is a very good team. Obviously, Mississippi State fans know Will Rogers. They lost a lot of talent off of that team last year, and Michigan's defense. Say what you want about their offense. Michigan's defense is very, very good. Sorry, I'm having some issues with my light. Michigan's defense is very, very good. And so I am picking Michigan to. I mean, it's not quite a crazy upset like you picked. It's only 3-point underdogs, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball as effectively to win the game by 3. I think the reason that line probably is like that is because Michigan's offense is so bad. Seems like Alex Orji is going to be starting, but their offense is just so dull. And whatever happened to Donovan Edwards, man? I thought he was going to be the guy, man. He was on the cover of that College Football 25. But people forget he only ran for like 500 yards last season. So we will see. Those are our against the odds matchups of the week presented by no one at the time being. But Austin, man, what do we want to say before we get out of here? I hope everybody enjoys the Saturday. Get out, do some barbecuing, do some grilling, enjoy yourself. But anything else, Austin, to finish this slate for week number 6?
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think Michigan and Washington is going to be a very interesting game. It's going to be fun. As a Mississippi State fan, watching Will Rogers play one of the best, if not the best, defense in the country. So that should be interesting. And honestly, I think it's going to be a heck of a ball game. But yeah, Mississippi State fans, man, just have fun. We can't lose this week, so that's always good. And yeah, just do something. I mean, this is still a week of football. We only get 12 regular season weeks, and so we got to enjoy them. And yeah, Hail State, and have a good week.
Yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you're subscribed to the MPW Digital Network. MPW Digital has several great shows on their network. We're the only Mississippi State show on it. So make sure you are subscribed, turn the notification bell on so that when it pops up, you can make sure you are in the know. We will have a State of the Dogs episode out early next week, and then we will do a prediction show later in the week next week. So we will have 2 shows next week followed. 2 shows next week. Make sure you're also following us on Twitter. It's at MyDawgsPod, as you see where my little handle is there. Just put a little @ signal at MyDawgsPod. That's how you can keep up with the latest. Keep up with us. We might see if we want to have a mailbag at some point. So if you guys have questions or thoughts, we'll kind of gather up several and put it into an episode. So it's going to be very, very fun. Also, next week, Trey Tucker from the Doghouse, another dog, and another Tucker. That's crazy. Is going to be joining us. He has a podcast that represents the Georgia Bulldogs for the College Huddle. And so that'll be really interesting. We're going to have Trey on, and he's going to give us a preview on on Georgia, what that looks like. We'll see how they are after Georgia's game versus Auburn this weekend. We're also going to be on his show as well. So make sure you check that out. Thank you guys, as always, for listening to the My Dogs Are Barking show on MPW Digital.